no idea they do it. These white-collar career women are giving new meaning to high heels. The first thing you'll notice about Jean is you won't see her face.
I think it's ridiculous that I have to be afraid that someday someone will find out.
The second thing you'll notice is she's bright.
I have a college degree and I'm currently working on my master's, and a doctorate is definitely in my future.
The last thing you'll notice is she smokes marijuana. It's the last thing anyone would suspect.
In my professional life, almost no one knows.
She's a mom, she's a wife, and she's a career woman. And any woman who does that balancing act knows it can get a little stressful.
I was never a big beer drinker, I'm not a big wine drinker, and it's just something to do at the end of the day to relax.
But before you think, big whoop, you found a woman who smokes weed, consider this. A recent study by the federal government found at least 8 million American women do it, and 20% of them earn more than $75,000 a year. They are events planners.
I'm an intelligent pot smoker.
Corporate procurement specialists.
I think that it just proves that you can be a professional individual and still get high.
And sales executives.
Instead of coming home and having a beer, I come home and pack a bowl.
Brenda is 32, owns a home.
Sometimes a black pant day, skirt.
And is a polished professional.
Go in there to be productive, and come home and know that you did a good thing that day for the business.
But when business is done,
sometimes I have a bong, and then sometimes I have a little glass pipe.
She breaks out her bag of green buds.
If you looked at me on the street, you wouldn't know that I come home every night and smoke a bowl.
Is that a joint, man?
And contrary to the stereotype of a pothead wasting away and stoned to the point of stupid, these women, like Veronica, say, unlike a drink or a glass of wine,
I'm a productive when I do
actually help them get done.
I can concentrate on things. I've done my taxes high. I've never been audited.
What concerns them,
It's like living a double life.
is they have to keep it a secret.
I don't know, I started doing it more often recently, and I worry a little about getting caught, which is why I don't really do it out in the open.
Like Sally, none of the women we interviewed was willing to show their face or use their real name. But they may not have to hide forever. Marijuana laws have loosened up lately. 13 states have decriminalized it for small amounts for personal use. In Milwaukee County, having less than 25 grams is only a citation. Veronica knows that. She keeps the ordinance right by her front door, just in case the cops ever stop by. And now, Wisconsin Congresswoman Tammy Baldwin is co-sponsoring a bill in Congress to prohibit any criminal penalty for possession of marijuana for personal use, as long as it's 100 grams or less.
I think it's ridiculous that as an adult, as a successful adult, that I can't come home and relax my way.
But that way,
they get paranoid,
comes at a cost.
When you get past use and you get into abuse and addiction, cannabis does have problems.
Continual use of cannabis may be linked to mouth and throat cancers, respiratory damage, and anxiety attacks.
With women particularly, we have to think about the effects of cannabis on reproductive function. If you're smoking cannabis 4 times a week or more, about 20% of those women may have galactorrhea. They may have problems with milk coming from their breasts. They tend to have shorter menstrual periods, and their fertility goes down.
Of course it's bad for you.
The cannabis-loving career women are aware of these risks.
Cigarettes are bad for you. Alcohol is bad for you. And in our country, at least I was brought up to believe that you have the right to make those choices as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
And none of them plans to stop smoking pot anytime soon.
And when I'm an old lady, I'll be smoking it for my glaucoma.
Brad Hicks, Fox 6 News.
Marijuana possession in any amount is illegal in Wisconsin. It is a misdemeanor with a possible 6 months in jail. But if you live in Milwaukee County, it's up to police and prosecutors to decide which they want to enforce, the state law or the county ordinance, which says it is just a citation.
Well, it's been a few years since we've been able to get energized about the Milwaukee Bucks.
Brandon Jennings shows he is